Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and we are going to continue our series about estrogen today. And before we can talk about estrogen, we have to talk about testosterone, because we are talking about the ovary today, and you can't have estrogen without testosterone. And if you remember, there are two different types of cells in the ovary that are responsible for hormone production. We have theca cells and granulosa cells. Well, today we are talking about theca cells and how they produce testosterone, which will then eventually become estrogen in the ovaries. So a lot of this process is going to be similar to processes that we saw in the adrenal gland, but this is not the adrenal gland. This is different. So some of the process is going to look a little bit different. And in fact, we need both theca cells and granulosa cells in order to make estrogen. And we're just going to look at half of the equation today. We're going to add the rest of it later on. So we have our beautiful theca cell here. And our theca cell is going to start off with cholesterol. And it's going to convert cholesterol to via cholesterol desmolase to pregnenolone, which, if you're playing the drinking game, every time I mispronounce pregnenolone, you have to do a shot. Just kidding. Don't do that, because you would die very quickly, because I do pronounce pregnenolone wrong a lot. But anyway, we have pregnenolone. And the funny thing here about pregnenolone is that in the adrenal gland, as we saw, it would be converted to progesterone. However, we are not making progesterone in the theca cells. And this is weird because we're in the ovaries. Ovaries produce progesterone, right? You may know a lot of cis females produce a lot of progesterone. And we do. We do make progesterone. It is just not in the theca cells. We make those in the granulosa cells. And we're going to see that in the next video. But we do not make progesterone. We go straight from pregnenolone to 17-hydroxypregnenolone via 17-alpha hydroxylase, as you saw in my adrenal lectures. But we have 17-hydroxypregnenolone converted by 17-20-lyase to DHEA. If you remember, that is one of our androgen precursors, and that is converted by 3-beta-HSD to androstenedione, which is converted by 17-beta-HSD to testosterone. So a lot of this process is very similar to what you've seen before. It just only follows this one pathway now and does not involve all of the extra steps, and also no production of progesterone. So something else that I did want to draw your attention to in this video is that if you remember from my talks on the pituitary gland and how it produces LH and FSH, which are hormones that stimulate release of estrogen and testosterone. And in fact, those are inhibited in puberty blocking. Well, we're going to see today a little bit about how LH works on the theca cells. FSH doesn't really play into the theca cells too much, so we're not going to look at that today. But we can stimulate production of this pathway via LH. And so LH is going to bind to a receptor on the theca cell. And I'm not going to go into detail about cell signaling. Maybe I'll make a whole other video about how this signaling mechanism works, because there is a complicated process of how LH causes the signaling cascade. So if you do want to see a video on the signaling cascade, please let me know in the comments and I will make that video for you. But we have LH that binds to this receptor, and then this cascade happens, and you stimulate something called protein kinase A, and protein kinase A is going to stimulate the production, also known as the synthesis, of all of these enzymes. So you get an increase in production of testosterone in the theca cell because you're getting more enzymes, such as cholesterol desmolase, 17-alpha hydroxylase, so on. All of these enzymes are produced via stimulation by LH on this receptor. And so this is how we get testosterone in the ovaries. If you have ovaries, you produce testosterone unless you don't have functioning theca cells. And so in the next video, we're going to talk about the granulosa cells, how you produce progesterone and how you produce estrogen, and how this interplay between these two cell types works. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave your questions and comments down below. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in the next one.